All right, welcome to another edition of Charlotte in the Know. I'd like to thank my followers and people who just now recently started liking and following the show. Also, let me give a little shout out to parent company, Cultured Media. If you want to stay in the know, definitely use them as the people and the group to keep you in the know. You can follow them at culturedmedia.biz. Today, I am being joined by a phenomenal lady, woman in Christ. She's a wife, mother, entrepreneur, author, and also the proud owner of Imperfect Paige Publishing. Today, welcome to the stage. Welcome, Erika Paige. How are you doing?
Hey, thank you so much, Adrian. Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing great. Life is grand.
Glad to hear it. Certainly glad to hear that. So
Absolutely.
mentioning Imperfect Paige, let's tell the viewers how the company came into being and let you tell your story about the company itself.
Sure. Thanks again for allowing me the opportunity to talk about my business. Imperfect Page Publishing was established November of 2020. I'm a mom of two sitting at home with two kids in the onset of the pandemic and just didn't want to allow the pandemic to get me down. I had no job at the time and just finished graduate school. So here I am with all this education and experience and, no opportunities. So I decided to use my God-given talents, and writing was something that was always, comforting to me.
Mhm.
So I began writing last summer, and I had a family member say, Erika, why don't you just write children's books? And I thought about it, I always take my kids to the library. We're avid library goers. We love story time. Why not? And so I started with my first book, Gigi's Glimpse of Virtual Learning. It's titled after my daughter. And my second book, Zeke's Great Imagination. So I am just grateful that we're getting great um, recognition, and everyone tends to or now following my platform, as well as purchasing my books. They're available on Amazon as well as on my website, imperfectpagepublishing.com.
You heard it, family. Go out there on Amazon and get these books.
All
Uh,
right.
Being that you just mentioned that you're an avid writer and everything, I happen to notice that you're also a blogger, and I found again something very interesting that you took the time out to blog about. You stated that you had to take time to unplug from social media. So expound on that with our viewers. Why and what did you learn from doing that?
Oh, absolutely. In 2000, actually November of 2019, I made it a goal to just disconnect from all social media platforms.
Mm,
I kind of, isolated myself, ostracized myself in a way, and in so many words, it prepared me for the isolation of the pandemic
mm,
6 months later, or I would say a couple of months later. But I disconnected for an entire 6 months. So I missed birthday shout outs, I missed Christmas shout outs, and New Year's. And I must say that that was one of the best things that I could have done. It not only drew me closer to God and my faith, but it allowed me to actually hone in on what exactly am I supposed to do? What is my purpose? And I have a story to tell. And when my mother passed away many years ago, she passed away from a degenerative, I can't even pronounce it, but a disease. And I had to then at that point decide, what is it that I would do. And she always encouraged me to write, and
mm.
so that's what I decided to do, and write about my children and their lifestyles, basically.
It's interesting. So still staying on the path of writing. Let's touch on that first book that you made mention of. So the book is titled Gigi's Glimpse of Virtual Learning. So tell us a little bit about the character Gigi, because I know that you have a lot of insight into that, and what went into creating the book.
Absolutely. Now, Gigi's Glimpse of Virtual Learning, it's a fun story. It's about my daughter and her first grade experience, virtual learning. It was about, or it is about her show and tell experiences, doing Zoom calls, interacting with games and learning. So it's a fun story that will encourage kids from pre-K to second to third grade with their virtual learning experiences. And although my daughter is now back in person, this is still a great book for moms who are still afraid, parents who are still concerned about sending their child back to school and they're, still going to virtually learn, or also those who are just homeschooled. And, that's always been an activity or, a process for you and your child for your learning experience. My second book is called Zeke's Great Imagination. It's quirky and fun, and it's about my toddler's fun experiences. One of the pages we talk about, and I'll just give you a glimpse of it. It's just simply about him blowing bubbles, one of the favorite things that he enjoys doing. And so using his imagination, we show him blowing bubbles, but also being inside the bubble at the front or the top of the city skyline. So this is just something that just is a true story, but we used our imagination to, just exhibit how, he likes to use his imagination for fun. So you can certainly purchase, like I said, those books on Amazon or on my website.
Beautiful image, excuse me, beautiful illustration, and I'm sure the stories itself will ring to that demographic that you're trying to sell it to as well. So if you haven't already, definitely go out to Amazon and get the books. So with the initial start of this podcast, I mentioned that you was also a wife and a mother. So with that being said, as well as an entrepreneur, how do you balance between work and home?
Yes, it is definitely tiresome. But I am a project manager by trade. I'm certified as a project manager. So I am accustomed to, doing the balancing act as we all do as mothers and wives. We are there for every birthday party. We're planning events a year out in advance. And, this is just something that I have great support from my husband. He's been my number one fan. He's the hardest working man in America, and he'll do whatever he can to certainly make me happy. So I appreciate his support. And my children, they are the greatest. We have 4 kids and 1 grandchild on the way. And so we just all kind of come together as family and continue to support each other. I kind of get feedback from my family and get inspired. And, I tend to write when everyone else is asleep and the house is quiet. That's my best time to write. And so, I have great support from my family and friends. And so everyone has been, tremendously inspirational. And even the people that I have met along this way and this journey has been great. So.
That is so important to have a supportive tribe. You can go a long way with that support, and it sounds like you definitely got a lot of it. So definitely keep doing what you're doing, sis. Lastly, or near being last, one of the fun questions I like to ask to some of my guests: where do you see yourself 10 years from now? Where do you hope to be 10 years from now?
10 years from now, I always say that some of the idols that I've looked up to, Tyler Perry, Ava DuVernay, Shonda Rhimes, they all started their writing journey well into their 40s. And I just feel like I am just starting. And, I had to kind of hibernate, if you will. I had the wheels turning and I had to, kind of go in and do the work. And now I am watching it unfold. I've nurtured the baby and I'm watching it unfold and grow. And so I just see myself in 10 years, prayerfully with multiple businesses and multiple streams of income, in addition to writing, um, some type of screenplay or movie. I do have something that I would like to, present on the big screen. So I'm looking forward to continuing to see, what God has for me. So.
All right. Now, family, I mean, as much as we've been talking about what this young lady does, that's just not entirely all of it. So if you go and check out Imperfect Page Publishing, you will come across a plethora of different services that this young lady provides. Just for instance, writing, tax preparing, copyright service, editor. I mean, what else? What don't you do?
Yes. Well, I really want, this is our moment. This is our time and our season. And if there is anyone out there that has a business idea, a business plan, you don't know where to start, please contact me. Imperfect Page Publishing actually assists with business registration. We also do business planning. So I have, again, my degrees are both in business, and I want to help people like me, jump out on faith and, strive to make yourself, marketable and, leave yourself a legacy.
Mm. Right. All right. So for the people who want to take part in your services or either just follow you on social media, how can they follow you, sis?
Okay, so I have Imperfect Page Publishing on through Facebook. I also have One Concrete Erika Rose. One Concrete _ Erika Rose is my Instagram. That's my IG. And then also imperfectpagepublishing.com.
Well, you heard it first, family. Check this young lady out. I guarantee you're going to see big things coming from her in the near future. Erika, I greatly appreciate you taking out the time to educate guests as well as myself and being a part of the show today.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And please take a look at my website and don't forget me.
You heard it first, family. Until next time, which will be very soon, I'll be seeing you on the next podcast of Charlotte in the Know. Take care.